Why 92% of people never get abs. Did you know that most men over 30 who chase a six-pack will never actually see one? Putting in hours at the gym, doing countless crunches, only to look in the mirror, see the same soft midsection staring back at you? You are not alone. A common story. Millions given the wrong map. They're told visible, defined abs come from endless sit-ups and AB exercises. But that map is flawed. It leads you in circles. The truth, getting visible abs after 30 has very little to do with how many crunches you can do. It's not about punishing your core into submission. Think of your body like a house. Crunches are polishing furniture in a room with the curtains drawn. Beautiful furniture. Hidden behind heavy drapes. The curtains are the layer of subcutaneous belly fat. Our goal? Pull back those curtains. This isn't about a magical, secret exercise that melts belly fat. Those promises are empty. All right. Let's dive deeper into a topic that's caused so much confusion and frustration for decades. We're going to dismantle one of the most persistent myths in the entire fitness industry. A myth that has sold countless gadgets and wasted millions of hours in the gym. I'm talking about the myth of spot reduction. This is the false belief that you can exercise one specific muscle group, like your abs, and magically burn the layer of fat sitting directly on top of it. If this were true, the path to a six-pack would be simple. You could just do thousands of crunches every day and watch your belly fat magically melt away, revealing a perfectly chiseled six-pack underneath. It's a tempting idea, but it's a complete fantasy. But our bodies simply do not work that way, friends. And understanding why is the key to unlocking real, sustainable results. When your body needs energy because you're eating in a calorie deficit, it draws fat from its total, systemic reserves. Think of it like a bank. You can't tell the ATM to only give you money that was deposited in a specific branch. The system gives you money from your total account balance. Your body does the same with fat. It pulls from your arms, your legs, your back, and yes, your belly. Your genetics and hormones largely decide the order in which fat comes off, and you cannot direct it to one specific spot just by working the muscle underneath. Now you might be thinking, but I feel the burn when I do crunches. It must be burning fat. This is a critical misunderstanding. That burning sensation is lactic acid, a byproduct of muscle fatigue. It means your abdominal muscles are working hard, which we can measure with something called an EMG, or electromyography. It shows high muscle activation. But muscle activation is not the same as fat oxidation. You're working the muscle, not melting the fat on top of it. Fat loss only happens through a consistent calorie deficit, meaning you burn more energy than you consume. When that happens, your body pulls from its total fat reserves. Crunches themselves burn a minuscule number of calories, not nearly enough to contribute meaningfully to this deficit. Worse yet, most people perform crunches incorrectly, which not only makes them ineffective, but can also lead to injury. The most common mistake is pulling on your head and neck. You see this all the time. Hands clasped behind the head, yanking your chin to your chest. This puts immense strain on your cervical spine and does nothing to engage your abs more. Instead, gently support your head with your fingertips or cross your arms over your chest. Lift with your abs, not your neck. Another mistake is speed. Rushing through reps using momentum is just cheating. You're using your hip flexors and momentum, not your abs. The key is slow, controlled movement. Think about squeezing your abs to lift your shoulder blades off the floor. Pause at the top and slowly lower yourself back down. Quality over quantity, always. Finally, there's the limited range of motion. A proper crunch involves flexing your spine to lift your upper back off the floor. Just lifting your head and neck does absolutely nothing. Focus on peeling your spine off the mat, one vertebra at a time, until your shoulder blades are elevated, even with perfect form. Remember the hierarchy of fat loss. For many men, due to hormonal factors and genetics, the abdominal area is one of the last places the body gives up its fat stores, which is why it can be so incredibly frustrating. You might see your face get leaner, your arms and shoulders gain more definition, long before that stubborn belly fat starts to significantly reduce and your abs begin to appear. This is normal. It's not a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you need to stay consistent. So if crunches don't burn belly fat, what are they actually good for? Should you abandon them completely? Not necessarily. They are an isolation exercise, and when done correctly, they are effective at strengthening one specific muscle, the rectus abdominis. This is the six-pack muscle that runs vertically down your abdomen. Building this muscle is important. A strong rectus abdominis contributes to overall core stability, which protects your spine and improves your performance in other lifts. Think of it this way. You can't see your abs if they're covered by a layer of fat, but you also can't see them if they aren't developed enough to pop. Crunches help with the development part, but they are just one small tool in a much larger toolbox. And for overall core strength and function, there are far better, more integrated exercises, which we'll cover later. If endless crunches are not the answer, then where does the journey to visible abs truly begin? It starts right in your kitchen, my friends. This is your new gym, your new command center for fat loss. The old saying, abs are made in the kitchen, is not just a catchy phrase, it is the fundamental law of fat loss. You can never out-train a bad diet. No amount of exercise can compensate for a consistent caloric surplus. Think about it. A vigorous 30-minute run might burn 300 calories, but a single slice of cheesecake or a couple of sugary sodas can easily pack over 500 calories. You'd have to run for nearly an hour just to break even. It's a losing battle. To lower your overall body fat and finally see your abdominal muscles, you must be in a slight, sustainable calorie deficit. This means you consume slightly fewer calories than your body burns each day. Let's break down the math with a real-world example. Take a hypothetical 35-year-old man. Let's call him Alex. He weighs 85 kilograms, or about 187 pounds, and is moderately active. His body needs around 2,700 calories per day just to maintain his current weight. This is his maintenance level. To create a sustainable 20% deficit, which is about 540 calories, Alex's daily target would be around 2,160 calories. A small deficit of 300 to 500 calories per day is the sweet spot for steady, sustainable fat loss that preserves muscle. By consistently hitting this target, he can expect to lose about half a kilogram or 1 pound of fat per week. That's the sweet spot for fat loss without sacrificing precious muscle. Now, this does not mean you have to starve yourself or follow a miserable, restrictive diet. In fact, crash dieting is one of the worst things you can do. When you drastically cut calories, your body goes into survival mode. It perceives a famine and slows down your metabolism to conserve energy. It also starts breaking down muscle tissue for fuel, because muscle is metabolically expensive to maintain. And this combination of a slower metabolism and less muscle mass makes it almost certain that you'll regain all the weight and often more as soon as you return to normal eating. Instead, think of it like managing a budget. You don't need to slash your spending to zero. You just need to spend a little less than you earn consistently over time. So, how do you create this small deficit without feeling deprived? You focus on food quality and simple swaps. Let's start with your grocery list. This is your blueprint for success. First, prioritize lean proteins. Think chicken breast, turkey, fish like salmon and tuna, eggs, and Greek yogurt. Protein is your secret weapon. It's incredibly satiating, meaning it keeps you feeling full and satisfied. It also has a higher thermic effect of food, meaning your body burns more calories just digesting it. Most importantly, it helps preserve muscle mass while you're losing fat. Aim for 1.6 to 2.2 grams of protein per kilogram of your body weight each day. For our 85-kilogram friend Alex, that's about 136 to 187 grams of protein daily. Next, fill the rest of your plate with fibrous vegetables and some fruit. Broccoli, spinach, bell peppers, leafy greens. These are packed with vitamins, minerals, and fiber, but are very low in calories. They add volume to your meals, helping you feel full without over-consuming calories. Then, add complex carbohydrates for energy. Choose sources like oats, quinoa, brown rice, and sweet potatoes over refined carbs like white bread and sugary cereals. These provide sustained energy for your workouts and daily life. Now let's talk portion control without a scale. Use your hand as a guide. A palm-sized portion for protein like chicken or fish. A cupped hand for a serving of carbs like rice or quinoa. A fist-sized portion for vegetables. And a thumb-sized portion for fats like oils or nut butters. This simple method helps you stay mindful of quantities without obsessive tracking. Finally, make smart swaps. This is where the magic happens. Swap sugary drinks, which are empty calories, for water, sparkling water, or zero-calorie beverages. Swap refined carbs, like white pasta for whole grain versions, or even zucchini noodles. Instead of frying your food, try baking, grilling, or air frying. Be mindful of cooking oils and dressings. Measure them out instead of free-pouring. These small changes accumulate into a significant calorie saving over the week. So what does a day of eating look like? For breakfast, you could have oatmeal with protein powder and berries. For lunch, a large salad with grilled chicken, and a light vinaigrette. For a snack, Greek yogurt with a handful of nuts. And for dinner, a baked salmon fillet with a side of roasted broccoli and a small sweet potato. This is a framework, not a rigid rule. The goal is to build meals around protein and vegetables, creating a sustainable, enjoyable, and effective plan that finally reveals the abs you've been working for. All right, let's talk about step 4. We've established that your kitchen is your gym, and that nutrition is the undisputed king of fat loss. If that's the case, then consider this next step the queen that protects the entire kingdom. I'm talking about strength training. Now, a huge mistake countless men make when they decide to lose weight is to pour all their energy into cardio. They spend hours and hours on the treadmill, the elliptical, or the bike, thinking that sweating more equals more fat loss. But here's the hard truth. Focusing solely on cardio is a deeply inefficient strategy, especially for men over 30. Cardio is great for your heart, and it definitely burns calories while you're doing it. But the moment you step off that treadmill, the calorie burning effect drops off dramatically. This can lead to the frustrating skinny fat look, where you lose weight on the scale, but you also lose precious muscle, leaving you with a softer, less defined physique. Building and maintaining muscle mass, on the other hand, is one of the most powerful things you can do to fundamentally transform your body composition and turn yourself into a fat-burning machine. Think of muscle as your body's metabolic engine or furnace. It's metabolically active tissue. This means it requires energy, calories, just to exist. The more muscle you have, the more calories your body burns every single day, even when you are sitting on the couch doing absolutely nothing. This is your basal metabolic rate, or BMR, the energy your body needs for basic functions like breathing and cell repair. A person with more muscle mass has a significantly higher BMR. Their body's furnace is just bigger and burns hotter 24/7. This means their body requires more energy just to function, making it far easier to create the calorie deficit needed for fat loss without resorting to starvation diets. So, how do we build this furnace? The key is a principle called progressive overload. This simply means you must continually challenge your muscles by gradually increasing the demand you place on them. You're telling your body, this is hard. You need to adapt by getting stronger and building more muscle. You can do this by lifting slightly heavier weights over time, doing more repetitions with the same weight, or increasing the number of sets. For men over 30, 2 to 3 full-body strength training sessions per week is an incredibly effective and manageable starting point. The goal is to focus on big, compound movements. These are exercises that work multiple muscle groups at once, giving you the most bang for your buck. We're talking about the fundamentals. First, squats, the king of leg exercises. Focus on keeping your chest up and sitting your hips back and down, as if you're sitting in a chair. Next, deadlifts. This is the ultimate full-body strength builder. The key is a flat, neutral back. Hinge at your hips, keep the bar close to your body, and drive the floor away with your legs. Then you have presses, like the overhead press or bench press, which build your shoulders, chest, and triceps. And rows, which are crucial for building a strong back and improving your posture. And don't forget carries, like the farmer's walk. Simply pick up something heavy in each hand and walk. It builds grip strength, a strong core, and incredible full-body resilience. Aim for 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps for most of these exercises, focusing on good form above all else. Finally, let's not forget the secret weapon that complements your workouts: NEAT, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is all the movement you do throughout the day that isn't formal exercise. Taking the stairs, parking further from the store entrance, fidgeting at your desk, carrying your groceries instead of using a cart. It all adds up. By consciously increasing your NEAT, you can burn hundreds of extra calories each day without even setting foot in a gym. It's the ultimate lifestyle hack for fat loss. By combining a higher BMR from more muscle with increased NEAT, you create a powerful, sustainable, and much less painful path to a leaner physique. You're not just losing weight, you're rebuilding your body from the ground up. This is the key to not only getting the fat off, but keeping it off for good. Friends, you can have the perfect diet and a brilliant workout plan, but if you ignore the forgotten pillars of health, you will be swimming against the current. These pillars are sleep, stress management, and hydration. They might not seem as direct as lifting a weight or choosing a salad, but they profoundly impact your hormones, which control fat storage, hunger, and energy. Neglecting them is like building on a shaky foundation. Everything will crumble. Let's start with sleep. In our busy, hyper-connected world, sleep is often the first thing we sacrifice. That's a catastrophic mistake for fat loss. Sleep deprivation throws your hormones into chaos. Cortisol, the stress hormone, skyrockets. Cortisol signals your body to store fat, especially around the midsection. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, increases. Leptin, the I'm full hormone, decreases. The result, hungrier, less satisfied, more belly fat. Next, stress. Chronic stress from work, family, or finances puts your body in constant fight or flight. Now that we have established the foundation of nutrition, strength training, lifestyle habits, we can finally talk about directly training the abs. But we are going to do it the smart way, friends. Forget the endless, mind-numbing crunches that strain your neck and lower back. We are going to build a core that is not just visible, strong, stable, functional. A strong core protects your spine, improves your posture, makes you more powerful in your other lifts. This routine is designed to be completed in just 8 minutes, 3 times per week. This workout trains the core for its primary function, resisting movement. Keep your spine stable, prevent twisting, prevent bending unnecessarily. Exercises that challenge stability beat simple flexion movements like crunches. My friends, we have laid out the entire blueprint. We know we need to create a small calorie deficit through smart nutrition. We know we need to build our metabolic furnace with compound strength training. We know we need to manage our sleep and stress. And we know how to train our core effectively in just a few minutes per week. But there is one final crucial element that ties all of this together: a mindset of patience and consistency. This is not a 30-day shred. This is a lifestyle transformation. You will not see dramatic results in a week, and that is okay. Real, lasting change happens slowly. Think of it like a stonecutter striking a rock. He may strike it 100 times without a single crack appearing. Yet, on the 101st blow, it splits in two. It was not that final blow that did the work, but all the ones that came before it. Every healthy meal you eat, every workout you complete, and every good night's sleep you get is another strike of the hammer.